Sunday today, and most, or at least half of the population of Nazareth is Christian, and so this is a day of rest in Nazareth. It's a day of work in the Jewish towns.
So half of this town is?
I would say about 40% are Christians, yes.
Oh.
And the other 60% are Muslims.
Oh.
There are no Jews living here. Only Muslims and Christians. On a normal day, we probably wouldn't have even thought of driving through the town because it's one big traffic jam right through here. But today, you know, you get a better glimpse, and it's quite interesting to see a different culture. And again, you see, we call it's a city today, but it's an outgrown village. Now the buildings that you see, take a building like the one on the left here with many stories, okay? Now normally you would think that this is some apartment building built by a contractor selling off apartments to different people. But it all belongs to one family, and each floor is a different part of the family, like I told you before. So usually if you have like 3 or 4 stories, the lower, the first floor would be where the parents are. Okay? And the floors above are of the sons and their families. Usually the one who inherits the house of parents is the youngest son. But it does mean that it is his duty to take care of them until they die. It's Upper Nazareth, and most of the people there are Jews, although lots of Arabs also start to live there too. Now, the occupation of most people here in Nazareth is, well, pretty much normal. Typically, in the modern Arab families, you would find a lot of people, now I'm talking about those who are modern, not the very traditional Muslim families, but in Christian families or modern Muslim families, they invest a lot in the education of their children. You find the highly educated people. Interesting maybe to note that the proportionate number of doctors, physicians, and lawyers in the Arab population is even higher than the percentage in the Jewish population. You know, they're equal citizens, but, and the but is very significant, because of the ongoing conflict that we have between Israel and the Arab world and Israel and the Palestinians. Of course, the Arab citizens of the State of Israel find themselves being torn between being, Israelis and between being Arabs. Solidarity, right? By the way, you know something? Think about it. When I'm looking at Luke first chapter, 26, the beginning of the Annunciation passage. Now, in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to the city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David. Notice that, right? The virgin's name was Mary, and having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice," and so on. "Highly favored one, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women." But the whole meeting now, and this is to somehow to explain the concept of Mary's wealth. The Western churches, I would say, following the very early interpretation of the meeting place, show the place of the Annunciation actually at the place, at the home, or at the supposed location of the home of Mary, meaning the home of her parents, right? Because a girl not even 16, not married, she would stay with her parents. And so the church, the Catholic Church, which is located on the same spot where even already in the 2nd century, a synagogue of Jews who believed in Christ, not the synagogue we were talking about before, you heard about before, but synagogue. You know that in the beginning there were Jews who accepted Christ. We call them Judeo-Christians. And in Nazareth there was a community, a thriving community of Judeo-Christians. And they were the first ones to build their building, their church or their synagogue, if you will, on the spot where a cave was shown, on a cave shown to be the home of Mary's parents, okay? Or the place where she stayed with her parents. Now, this is today the Catholic Church. It used to be before the, you know, the Crusader times and before the Reformation. This is the location for everybody in the Western world of the Annunciation, the church where the church is standing now, okay? So we might not like the church, but still this is location which was accepted in the past. Now, the Orthodox belief, the Greek Orthodox belief, Russian Orthodox beliefs, the Eastern churches, they resorted to another location as the place of the Annunciation. They said that the meeting between Angel Gabriel and Mary takes place not at a home, not at their home, he appears, but by the well. Now, a girl of 16, she is the one being sent by a family to fetch the water. This was girl's business to carry the water, and not for the men. Remember the stories of the Old Testament, of the patriarchs, of Jacob meeting Rachel, Isaac before him at the well. They meet their future wives at the well. This is where you got to see the girls, right? And be the hero and roll the rock. Okay?